Hi guys, how you all doing? So this video is for any mother who is having difficulty in breast milk production. Yes, if you're having difficulties in producing breast milk, this video is for you. Either you're a new mom or you've been into the game for a long time but you have this challenge, this video is for you. So I just want to let you know that the size of your breast does not determine the amount of breast milk you produce. Because I've seen people with very large size and yet they struggle with production of breast milk. And I've seen people with average size and the production is perfect. So the size of your breast does not determine the amount of breast milk that you produce. So don't let anyone make you feel bad about it, that the reason why you're not producing enough is because your size is small. No, that's not true. So I had an issue then in 2016 that most people I spoke to about it made me feel like it was the size of my breast that made me not to produce enough breast milk as at then. So I had my first child in 2016. And when you have your child, initially you're expected to produce enough breast milk, right? Yes, at the initial stage, I produced enough breast milk. But along the line, I noticed that the production dropped. And then the next thing I noticed again was that at 3 months, my child refused taking breast milk. And I took him to the hospital where I gave birth to him. And the doctors told me that there is no cause for alarm. I shouldn't panic, that this is what most women pray for. But they didn't understand that that's not what I wish. So they told me that once the child is feeding on formula, that there is no cause for alarm, I should go home. So I went home and I started feeding my baby on formula. Few days later, I went back to the hospital again with the expectation of meeting new doctors and different nurses entirely. And then I met different doctors and different nurses, different from the ones I met the previous day I came. So they told me that there's no cause for alarm. And some of the nurses there started making jest of me that because my house is close by, that is why I can breeze in into the hospital and breeze out as I like, that there's no cause for alarm. That so long as my baby is feeding on formula, there's no cause for alarm. I felt bad, but I went home because there was no any other option since that was the instruction from the doctors and the nurses. So I know you might be wondering, some people will be saying, are you sure you were feeding well as at then? Because breast milk production has to do with feeding. Yes, I was particular about feeding then. I was feeding well, but the production was poor. So that was how I went home and I started feeding my baby on formula. So when I had my second child, I didn't even make research or make findings or talk to people about the issue I had during the first one. So in the second one, the same thing happened again at 3 months. This child stopped on her own. So I took this child to the hospital to complain again. But this time around, it was a different hospital. So that you don't get me wrong by saying it's the hospital I visited that didn't give me solution to it. I took this child to the hospital, a different one entirely again, and they told me there is no cause for alarm. We should go and be doing formula. So that's how we went home, and I didn't panic since the first one was all right. I started feeding my baby on formula again. Not until the third one, even before I had the third one, I started making findings, started talking to elderly women about it, that what could be the cause. Why some of So I started making inquiries. I started talking to elderly women about it, how I encountered that problem during my first and second one. And they gave me their own opinion, and then that was it. So I noticed that while I was pregnant for my third one, during my normal clinic routine, there's this particular woman that comes to the hospital to market a particular product that helps in breast milk production. But I did not buy it because I felt that's how they do to take money from people to sell product that does not work. So I ignored. So when the woman came, then the woman said that this particular product is expected to be taken once you are seven months gone before delivery. But I didn't buy. Not until I had my child. And 2 weeks after delivery, I noticed that on a particular day like that, my baby was crying consistently without stop. Even after breastfeeding, this child was just crying. So I just went to get my breast pump to check if actually something was coming out. And then I checked, and not even a drop came out. Then I realized that the reason why those my first and second baby stopped breastfeeding was because there was nothing coming out. So they were tired of just trying to get something and nothing was coming out. That was why they gave up at 3 months. So when I realized nothing was coming out this time around, I went to the hospital to complain. And the doctor asked if I got that product that was being marketed during our clinic routine. And I told him no, that I did not get it. He asked why. And I told him the reason why I didn't get it was because I felt it will not work. Then he asked me to go get the product. See, I'm not here to market any product to you. I am not marketing or selling any product to you, but I'm just trying to share my experience, what worked for me. I believe it will help somebody else. So that was how I went to the clinic to get the pharmacy to get this particular product. And from the very first day I started taking it, like the result was excellent, marvelous. The kind of heaviness I felt on the very first day, I've never felt it since I started giving birth. So I've been taking it morning and evening. This is the product here. I am not marketing anything to you. This was the product the doctor recommended. So it's just like the color is like your tea color. So you just take two spoons of it. There's a spoon inside. You take 2 spoons of it morning and evening. That was how I was taking it. And I've taken 5 cans of this. Right now, I'm no longer taking them. But the breast milk production is very perfect, even without these products. So if you're having challenge with breast milk production, please, I will advise you get this and you will see the wonders. I am not marketing anything here. Thank you.